Welcome to Viking basketball with head coach Jase Coburn as the Portland State Vikings get ready for a 3-game homestand right here in Viking Pavilion. The Vikings taking on Northern Arizona on Thursday night, and then next week on February 24th, Weber State, February 26th, Idaho State. The Vikings needing some wins as they come down the stretch for postseason positioning. And, Coach, that's what we're going to talk about today. A couple of losses on the road last week, however, to first-place Montana State and a very talented Montana team. Very close games. The Vikings continue to play well, and really that's probably the key as you look at it coming down the stretch.
Yeah, we've been playing really good about the last 7 games, and some of those have resulted in wins. And I think the key thing for us is we need to keep improving. Whether it comes after a win or a loss, we need to just keep improving. And one of the goals is to play meaningful basketball games in February and March. And right now, every game that's next is the most important game of the season. So we're in a good space right now, and got a good opportunity to make a run here.
And one thing that just continues to challenge the Vikings, and you don't want to complain about it because everybody deals with it. You just seem to be getting an extra dose this year. Injuries. You've had constant lineup changes here in the last several weeks, but the team has continued to play well through that. And what do you attribute that to, constantly having to move around your rotations?
I think a lot of it is our guys' individual mental toughness. That was one thing that we set out to do at the beginning of the season, was to be the toughest team and be able to function at a high level in adversity. And like you said, we've had tons of different lineups this year. We've had tons of different substitution patterns. But everybody has stepped up, on any given game. So really proud of the team and how we've battled through, with all the missed games that guys have had. And it's been somebody different every night. And that's the great thing about our team. Is that we have a lot of depth and guys who've played a lot of minutes in Division I basketball, and guys have been stepping up every night.
And as we look at it, the Vikings 10 different starting lineups in 15 Big Sky Conference games, which is pretty remarkable. As a coach, how do you deal with that? Do you sometimes look down the bench and you want to pull somebody in and you're like, oh my gosh, he's not available? Or, the rotation is different every night, so that's got to set a different challenge for you and how you coach a game.
I mean, honestly, I have confidence in every single guy on our team, and I know that everybody's going to be ready to step up. And so, kind of before – sometimes it's been 2 hours before a game. Sometimes it's been in warm-ups where guys have been able to go or not. And so, I just kind of have a substitution pattern in my head each game, and it changes. And, hats off to our guys, too, for knowing multiple positions and allowing us to be able to move people around on the fly. And, we've had to do some things adjustment-wise offensively to let that happen. So, but yeah, our guys have really stepped up, because nobody really knows what their role is going to be on any given night, and they just step into that role that night and perform at a high level.
And the one thing you've shown is you've changed those lineups, gone smaller. We all know that. But what you really have is a lot of guys who individually are extremely talented. And by that I mean they can take just about anybody off the dribble. You got a lot of guys who can take people off the dribble, break down a defender, and get to the hoop, probably more than most coaches could hope for.
Yeah, I mean, we've really tried to play to our strengths here of late. Tried to get some guys more space and room to operate, and it's really helped. It's helped our shooting. We're taking better shots, and being able to score in the paint and finish. And like you said, we've got a lot of guys who can get it on the floor and make the right play. So that part's been really exciting, that we feel like we've been putting our guys in the best situation to succeed.
And now the game with Northern Arizona, very important, as they all are. But this one in particular, the winner of this game will hold 7th place in the Big Sky Conference. Currently, the Vikings are 7th, but you got to win to keep that spot. Otherwise, NAU would jump over you. And that's important when you talk about the Big Sky Conference tournament, getting the best possible position and seeding. So talk about how important this Northern Arizona game is, and in all these final 3 home games.
Yeah, I think every game is our most important game, and that's what you really set out to do. When you're, I was saying earlier, when you talk in February and March basketball, you want to play meaningful games, and so this next game is the most important game of the season, and then after that, it'll be the most important game of the season. So it's a fun ride. It's great to be in a competitive situation. But we're just taking it one game at a time and looking to get better every single game and going out there and having fun.
And as we look at it through these past 3 weeks when the Vikings have played really well, every night it seems to be a different guy. Of course, we saw Zeke Alley got Big Sky Player of the Week last week, but you've seen great contributions up and down the lineup. Guys like Damian Squire, Khalid Thomas has been consistent starting every game. Marlon Ruffin coming off the bench recently. Hayden Curtis finally got healthy. He gave you some good minutes. I've named several players, but really everyone in a given game has done something important for you.
Absolutely. I think that's part of the reason when we set out to recruiting was to get a lot of depth. I'm not sure that there's many other teams that could go through what we've gone through and still be able to perform at a high level. So, it goes back to recruiting. We knew that when we were recruiting that we were bringing in a lot of really talented players, and we were going to mesh it together. And one way or another, some guys haven't been available from night to night. And the talent level hasn't dropped off at all because through the recruiting process, we knew we wanted depth, and that's what we wanted. So now it's really starting to show.
Okay, I'm going to change it up here on the last question and ask you about something. As I look at the numbers on the Vikings roster, Damian Squire is shooting 94% at the free throw line, Coach. Paris Dawson shooting over 87% at the free throw line. The Vikings 757 as a team, and as I look at it, that's actually a school record pace. You probably didn't know that, but as we talk about what's important coming down the stretch, free throw shooting has got to be extremely important, especially when you have guys trying to break people down and get to the rim and draw contact.
Yeah, we've been scoring a lot of points in the paint. Obviously we've been attacking that area, and like you said, we've been getting fouled. Free throw shooting, everybody who's ever been involved in basketball knows free throw shooting is very, very important. It's how you close out games. It's how you take advantage of opportunities, and our guys have done a really good job with that. It's a lot about confidence and concentration. So they step up to the line every time with a certain level of confidence and a certain level of concentration, and have been able to knock them down, and they'll continue to do it.
All right, Coach, thank you for your time. And as we look ahead, once again, the Vikings in Northern Arizona on Thursday night. Next week, Weber State, February 24th, Idaho State, February 26th, right here at the Viking Pavilion. For all your information on Vikings basketball, go to govikes.com.